Hello. Um, in this video, I'm going to talk about advanced, in quotation marks, blocking techniques. Um, they're not advanced in the sense that they're not hard to execute and they're not hard to understand either. Um,
I'm ready to start.
I guess just advanced in the sense that it's, how do you say? It's just more uh, ideas people might not have thought of when it comes to the intricacies of blocking
Ready
things,
to start.
basically. But I'm not going to keep talking like this. Sorry if I ramble a bit. I've been pretty sick lately. But yeah, should be fine. So anyways, I'm going to start real simple. And then I'm going to just keep expanding. Right? And there's a reason why I have at least Cammy. Cammy's a good character to explain these kinds of things with. So anyway, let's get started, right? I'll turn Cammy's pre-recorded thing on. The default block that virtually everyone has is when you block, you default to blocking down back, right? And the reason for this is because when you're blocking down back, you block lows, which are usually unreactable. Like this crouch medium kick, that's unreactable. You can't reactively block that, right? You block mid as well, and you cannot block overheads, but the vast majority of overheads are slow to begin with. You usually cannot combo off them with a few exceptions. And they're, yeah, like I said, because they're slow, they're usually reactable. So you can kind of default to a down back block and then, oh, the overhead, I'll just block high now, right? That's the general idea of why people will block low like this by default. But there is a lot of value in blocking high. And I'm going to, this is where I'm going to start. Very simple. Um, like, as you can see, this is the default starting position. She walks forward, she does crouch medium kick, I block it, right? But as you can see here, if I was stand blocking, just say I'm stand blocking, usually you're walking around all this shit. But just imagine that I'm walking around, right? And I'm in the exact same spot, and the crouch medium kick whiffs, even though I haven't moved at all. This is because, as many of you will know, crouch blocking it extends your hurt box forward, so you're more likely to block things because your hurt box is more further forward, right? Now, why is this important, basically? When you block like this, when that happens, you can't whiff punish because you've blocked. You are locked out of doing anything, right? You're in block stun. Unless their move is unsafe, you cannot block. But if you make the move whiff, you can punish it. You know? That's the general idea, right? That's kind of like the idea of like why this is one reason why stand blocking. You're in neutral, walking around. Maybe you just want to stand block, right? And you want to make their button whiff. You have a greater chance of making their button whiff if you are standing, right? And then you can do stuff like that. So, yeah, that's one reason. That's a very simple reason why you might want to consider stand blocking instead of crouch blocking. Not as a default, but in specific situations. When you want a whiff punish, you should always be walking and stand blocking, right? Because it gives you more leeway for whiff punishment to happen. But anyways, let's move on. While this is an advantage of stand blocking, there is also an advantage to crouch blocking. And I'll just set that up real quick. So I'll be right back. Okay, now to get back to crouch blocking as we were talking about originally, there are benefits in opening people up to crouch blocking. So in this example, just imagine I'm walking around and all this shit, even though I'm going to be standing still, right? I'll have Cammy doing this, right? Same as before. She's walking forward, she's doing her thing, it whiffs because I'm standing, right? Wisp because I'm standing. Same thing. But instead, I have the bot doing something that a lot of Cammy players will do, and this applies across like a lot of characters, is Cammy thinks that her crouch medium kick is either going to connect with if I press something or walk into it, right? It's going to connect, and she is going to get her buffer off, which is like, oh look, I walked into it, yeah? That's going to happen, or maybe I press something, she's going to whiff punish it predictively by doing this. But what I'm doing instead to open her up is I'm expecting her, because Cammy has a lot of buttons, she has a lot of great cancelable buttons, but none of her cancels are safe except for V trigger. So she's taking a risk buffering. So they always try to buffer at spots where they're not going to hit on block at all, right? But this is, you're forcing them. So like I said, I'm in the same position, right? I'm standing in the exact same position, right? So just imagine I walked forward into this. I can just crouch here, block, punish, right? You can walk into and block specific things to punish them like this. And crouch blocking will help you do that because, like I said earlier, crouch blocking extends your hurt box, right? So by walking forward and crouch blocking, you're just putting your big fat ass hurt box right in their face. And if they incorrectly judged the distance, they're going to do something like this, assuming they have an unsafe cancel buffered, right? And then you're going to get your big ass punish, you know? Whatever, I don't know felt combos, but you get the idea, right? Do your big ass punish, and yeah, that is one reason that's one way crouch blocking can be very effective. And let's just say you predicted wrong and they didn't do that. You're still just walking forward and blocking, right? So the risk is not that big. You know, you could walk into something, you could miss time and get hit low when you were walking forward or whatever, walking backwards, whatever. But there's no real risk if you are playing correctly. So anyways, we'll move on. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about, again a bit more advanced, is using stand block as not only a strong defensive option for dealing with tick throws, but also giving you punishes as well. I'm picking on Cammy a bit here with all these examples, but she's very good for explaining these kinds of things, the way her character kind of functions and what's important, what her goals are in games, right? So, anyways, Cammy is going to do Cammy shit to me. She's going to, you know, press a million lights and then she's going to tick throw me. You know, the mix-up is, oh, is she going to keep doing lights? Is she going to throw me? Is she going to shimmy me? What have you. I will show you a option that you might not have thought about before, right? So first you will see, you know, this is what happens when you just down back block this stuff, right? You know, she comes in, does her stuff, tick throws you, right? You can tech, you know, delayed tech, whatever, but if she shimmies you there, right, you're going to get hurt. But here's what you can do. It won't always work. It depends on spacing and like how many buttons she presses, stuff like that. If she does like one real close jab, because she's Cammy, she's still going to tick throw you. But this, like I said, a lot of this stuff applies to like a lot of, if not every character, right? So Cammy's doing this to you. Here's what you can do. If you stand block here, you can get punishes, right? You can walk out of the tick throw. Even if you don't do anything. Like there, look. I walked out of the tick throw. Right? And she does have low confirms, so you have to be careful. But some characters don't really have low confirms in this situation. So you can kind of walk out of their tick throws. A good example is Ibuki. She's got okay good light confirms now because of her new V trigger, but back in Season 2, you could just walk out of everything Ibuki did as long as she didn't have V trigger, because what's she gonna do? What's she gonna do to catch you low? She doesn't really have much there, right? But yeah, anyways, back to what I was talking about. Um, you can just walk out of tick throws like this. This is a very strong and relatively safe compared to like trying to guess between a tech or a shimmy. You know, a shimmy won't work against this. A throw won't work against this. Catching you with a low will, kind of thing. But not only do you get out of this situation, you can also punish, right? You can punish their whiff throw, right? Like that. If you've got to look for the reaction, right? And punish. Oh, yeah, with the throw. Throw whiffs are reactable. If you're expecting someone to whiff a throw, you can see it and punish it on reaction. So if you're in this situation and you're like, I'm gonna walk back like this, be looking for their throw whiff, right? Because you're gonna get damage off it. So yeah, that's that. Now, to talk a little bit about good players, like this is a very Fudo is very good at this. To stop lows, because like I said, this gets beaten by lows, especially characters with good low hit confirms. Cammy, if she's really close, she has good low hit confirms, but yeah. But you can, Fudo especially is good at this. I don't know if he does it so much anymore, but during like season 1 and 2, he was always see him doing this. He will walk ever so slightly out of the throw and then crouch right back again to protect himself, right? This is like his kind of OS. He'd just walk out of the throw and he'd go right like that. Just like walk ever so slightly out of range. So he wouldn't get thrown, but he'd still be in a down back position to defend himself. And it's very strong. Yeah, if you're not going for the Punisher, if they try to shimmy you and you just get that down back, really good shit. But yeah, that's that part. So let me think about what else there is on this kind of topic. Alright, there's not too much really left to talk about, so I'll just show a couple of character-specific instances where stand blocking, the difference between stand blocking and crouch blocking can really like make huge differences. This is one I've seen a lot of in like really high level play. I don't know about this season, but I used to see this a lot during season 2. It's like, you know, top 16 games, whoever's fighting Haitani or something, Nikali, right? I don't know exactly what the Nikali pressure buttons are, so I probably look like an idiot if you look at the inputs, because I don't really know, but hopefully I'll get the idea across. His Nikali stomps can be a bit weird, and so basically, you know, he comes up, he's doing his stomp shit on you. Hold up. You know, he's doing this to you, right? He's just doing stuff like that. You know, Nikali stuff. You're blocking it. That's from crouch blocking, right? Oh, I'm just trying to get the right distance here. As you can see, crouch block, you're fine or whatever, but what you can do is you block the low, and then you walk backwards, and you can whiff punish it, because his stomp is a bit weird at certain ranges, where you're not really walking out of it so much, but you are shrinking your hurt box from standing up, and you are giving yourself more room for it to whiff, and yeah, it's letting you get a whiff punish as well. This is a very reactable whiff punish. If you're going for this, you will get it on reaction if you are thinking about it, right? And this applies to, there are other characters that have similar things like this. You'll probably have to work them out yourself. I can't really think of many off the top of my head, but it exists. Things like this exist where standing up, blocking something can lead to situations like this instead of just always crouch blocking and you're just going to be blocking the whole time, right? So that's the first one. I've only got one more I can think of that isn't very... It's definitely practical, but it's not a common because it's a matchup specific one, but I always thought it was so funny. So I'm going to show that one anyway, and that'll probably be it. Alright. This is an example that's very close to my heart because I always thought it was so funny. I've played both of these characters. Vega was my Street Fighter 4 character, and I played him at the start of this game, and I played Alex for a long time when he came out as well. But This isn't a good example as overall kind of like ideas. This is very matchup specific, but you'll see. Anyways, let's get into it. I think only Vega can do this. Maybe Sakura can as well. I'm not sure. I've never tested with her, and I don't know what her backwalk speed is. But as you may well know, fighting Alex, he is, after a forward heavy punch, this move right there, he's +3. And his command grab is 6 frames, right? So he's +3. He can press a button or he can command grab you, and you have to guess, right? Oh no, I blocked this. Oh no, he somehow did this, and now I have to guess. He's +3 right in my face. Oh, this sucks, man. I have to guess now. Like, but wait, look at that. For some reason, Vega and probably Sakura can just walk out of this mix-up for free every time, and he doesn't really have the lows to compensate for it. So this is just an example of a dumb example, might I add, but a funny one of how stand blocking is useful. You know? Like, if you're crouch blocking this, you're gonna get thrown every time. Or you're gonna, whatever. Whatever's gonna happen. But you can just walk. Just walk. Just walk out of this situation for free. And, like, what's he gonna do? But yeah, my examples are pretty shitty, and I didn't explain it too well, like my ideas. But hopefully I explained it enough that you can think about how this applies across the board to all sorts of other situations. Just the ideas of how stand blocking can be effective, how crouch blocking can be effective, when to do each one, and hopefully the specific examples that I gave, except for that last one, um, give you ideas on how to incorporate this into your game, because it can be very important. It can really make the difference between, like, certain levels of play. Just a small, like, positioning and, like, retracting of hurtbox from standing up, or deliberately making your hurtbox bigger for whatever reason, as we showed earlier. So yeah, thanks for watching.